questions, also known as competency-based interview questions. They're very common nowadays. Time was, getting a job was fairly straightforward. Jobs went on the basis of experience and qualifications. If you're the most experienced, the most qualified candidate for a job, you had a pretty good chance of getting the job. Nowadays it's different. Experience and qualifications get you the interview, but once you're in the interview, you ask the performance questions, and whether or not you proceed is based on the answers you give. It's literally a case that the 17-year-old with very little experience might get the job, and the 40-year-old with loads of experience might not get the job, just because one gives better answers than the other. A lot of the job interview videos out there are generic. Some of them are aimed at specific careers like social work or cabin crew. Those are fine. But most of them are generic, and the problem I have with them is that they will not give good answers or very helpful answers to the performance question. So if a question is, what was your best achievement in your last job? You're supposed to say something like, in my last job, I increased departmental turnover by 14%. Well, guess what? I didn't. I don't think many people do either. So you really need to think in terms of the job you're applying for, the jobs you've done before. And you also need to, it's not just about your performance. Generally, it might be about something very specific. Sometimes the question is along the lines of, give me an example of a time when you explained the procedure, or give me an example of a time when you had to persuade somebody to come round to an unpopular point of view, or give me an example of where you had to deal with someone who's angry. And in every case, try and give a job-related answer if possible. If you can't, give an answer from one of your hobbies, that's allowed. But always go for a job where you can, and always go for your most recent job where you can. And I can't hope to tell you all the questions you might get asked. So a good way of doing this is, if you're in an interview and you get asked performance questions, after you've left, write down the questions you asked and think about the answer you gave, and ask yourself if that's the best answer you could have given. Ask other people what sort of questions they've been asked in job interviews, and then try and put together ideal answers for those questions. Actually write them down and take your notes to the job interview with you as you're sitting in reception when you've interviewed. Just read through them, so when you go into the interview and you ask those questions, the performance questions, give an example of where you did this or where you did that, you've got the answer ready to go in your mind.